What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, doing something today I've never tried before, which is I'm actually going to do a Nintendo Direct predictions video. This is something many of you have asked me to try out, and here I am, and the reason I'm doing it is because if you haven't heard the news, last night there was actually a massive earthquake that hit Japan, so obviously Nintendo ended up having to delay the event today because you can't exactly do a Direct if your offices are quite shaken up. And I want to just start this video by saying a giant, heartfelt I love you towards Nintendo, and I hope everybody's okay. I feel like a lot of us sometimes forget that Nintendo is a giant studio that makes amazing stuff like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but they're just normal humans. They're individuals, men and women, who happen to love gaming and passionate game development. So times like this, I really hope that everybody is doing okay and fully safe. But let's move on to talking about what this Nintendo Direct could be. Now, I've been handed some leaks and heard some stuff that's very, very intriguing, which is part of the reason I'm making this rant. And it really kind of boils down to the fact that it sounds like Nintendo is really wanting to show with this Direct a lot of bigger projects that are coming up. It seems like, from what I've heard, they realize that people are getting a little bit burned on indie games, so they want to try and remind us that the Nintendo Switch is made to do everything. It's not just for great RPGs and cool stuff like Splatoon 2, it's also meant to try and challenge you in new directions. So let me talk about some of the stuff I've heard about specifically. I definitely think that they're going to try and do some surprise unveilings, starting with probably busting out a long extended demo for Mega Man 11 and then giving us the demo itself on the eShop right afterward. Now, the reason I think this is because we've already heard Capcom talking about the fact that they wanted to drop the demo at some point very, very soon to make sure that people had a chance to try it out before its release coming up in early October. Something else that I think that is going to be dropped randomly during a Direct is also the upcoming online test for Dark Souls Switch. So many of us are still scratching our heads as to why that game's not out, and I think that it's just coming down to a final push of development and bug testing, and this will be Nintendo's chance to finally bring it out themselves and show it directly to their audience and say, yes, it's later than it was on every other console, but it's still here and it's still going to be fantastic. Now, both of those are smaller things, but I think the real meat and potatoes, the thing that's actually supposed to keep people invested, is something I think that they're going to be trying to bring out and truly unveil that'll be shocking, which is, how do I phrase this without revealing too much? I really think that Square Enix is going to be there in force. I think that they're going to try and show us that they want to actually triple down on their support of the Nintendo Switch. Now, by now, I'm sure all of us realize the fact that Octopath Traveler sold way beyond expectations, which is kind of funny because Square Enix actually had this issue back with the release of Bravely Default, where it sold way more than they thought, to the point at which they had to rush and print more copies of it, because it seems like Square, even though they are considered to be some of the godfathers of modern RPGs, they themselves forget the fact that JRPGs have a huge audience of super diehard fans who want to play those things all day, every day. So they've had to actually rush creating a ton more physical copies of Octopath Traveler. So from what I'm hearing, it seems like they're trying to really expand the support of the Switch and show that they're going to be trying to get as much as they can on the system as soon as possible. If a game can run on Switch, I would expect it to arrive there in the next year. Now, if you're hoping for something along the lines of Kingdom Hearts 3, I would not hold your breath. For a wide variety of reasons. I know people say, well, I bet they could create a severely downgraded version that would run. Yes, but I don't think we're going to see something like that soon. I think instead, they're going to start by trying to bring over things that are less graphically intensive. Like we did see a big public leak for what looks like a version of Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition it just appeared on the PlayStation Store, so I think that we're also going to be seeing that on Nintendo Switch. And if you haven't played it, it is a chibi version of FF15, but it really keeps a lot of the heart and soul and overall the great story of 15 intact. It is a slightly slimmed down version, but from what I'm hoping it will be, I think that what it's going to be is something that tries to make it a little bit more in-depth than the cell phone version was, because I actually played it, and let me tell you, tapping the screen for combat just didn't do everything for me. Having an actual controller and being able to really truly run around and have fun and do combos and stuff, I definitely think that this will be the key to making sure that Pocket Edition ends up being this interesting space between the giant... Oh god, I'm getting killed. Oh well. To be something that's in an interesting space between the mobile game and a console game. That way it's simplified and easy, but isn't exactly just a full-blown remake of Final Fantasy 15. Now, something they've definitely confirmed for the upcoming Nintendo Direct that I'm not super thrilled about is they did confirm that they're going to be talking again about the 3DS. Now, you guys know that I'm in such a love-hate relationship with the 3DS because the 3DS has been so good for so many years, but at this point, I'm just kind of tired of it. I keep wanting to see more stuff on Nintendo's latest hardware instead of their older hardware, which isn't to say that I'm wanting the 3DS to die, so much as that I want to make sure that we get as much awesome, spectacular stuff on Switch instead of supporting older tech. But I do think that since they've confirmed they're going to be talking about it to a small degree, I think that what we're going to see is a long look at Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. Because they haven't really shown too much about that yet. This will be their good opportunity to finally be like, okay, this is what we have planned, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want it to look. This also could be a final opportunity to really try and sell people on what I think will be the last wave ever of 3DSs. Those things are still being produced. We're still seeing a couple limited editions showing up in stores, but I definitely think that now is the time to phase it out. That being said, I do believe that there's going to be one last official Nintendo game on the 3DS, and I do believe the rumors that we're going to see a Zelda remake. Now, it's probably not going to be something that's giant and spectacular. It's definitely not going to be anything to truly melt your brain, but I think that we're going to see something like maybe a special 2.5 HD remake of something like Link's Awakening, which is actually one of my favorite Zeldas. I think we'll probably see something like Link's Awakening coming over to the 3DS with some Link Between World graphics. But I think that really the overall objective of this Direct is going to be trying to maybe tease people to some more stuff coming soon. Everybody is excited for the potential epicness of 2019 when it comes to Nintendo Switch, but people are still kind of scratching their heads as to what we could be getting in 2018. Personally, I'm really hoping that we at least get some tiny teasers for stuff like Metroid or maybe a new Castlevania. I think it's quite certain that we will see Smash to some degree, but I don't think that they're going to be doing a long reveal of new combat or something. I think that the point of this Direct is to try and show us the stuff we have not seen before. It's possible that we'll see some Smash stuff, like maybe one character reveal or showing off just a couple more Echo Fighters, but at this point, I think that Nintendo realizes that they need to go full steam ahead into the holiday season with big shocking stuff, and this is their opportunity. They can't just come out and talk about online services and stuff like that. This is their last chance, for the most part, to try and really win everybody over going in to try and get those final pre-orders before the holiday season really begins ramping up. From what I'm hearing, though, I'm definitely excited. Some of the stuff like just getting a Final Fantasy game on Nintendo Switch, or maybe two of them, that stuff gets me so hyped, and it really kind of just gets me really excited for what could be coming next. I definitely love my Nintendo Switch a lot, but lately I've just been so curious as to what we're getting in the next quarter. Nintendo's always been pretty secretive, but recently it seems like they're going even more overboard to make sure that nothing is revealed until it's basically ready for launch. And I have to say that personally, I find that all these surprises, twists, and turns very, very exciting. But what do you think? Are you predicting that we'll get anything super crazy at this Direct next week? And just because we're so concerned about Nintendo, tell me some of your favorite Nintendo memories in the comments down below. And if you can, just definitely send them some good vibes, because I'm sure that everybody's okay, but an earthquake like this can really turn your life upside down. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh man, I don't know how I didn't get killed. Maybe I did get killed and I didn't even notice. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.